All right, so this is Jaime again with 1967 doing these interviews with past and present band members of the band 1967. I am a horrible vocalist. I suck at writing music, and everyone hates me. But
that's a fact. There's a fact right there.
I'm grateful that one of my old buddies, old friends, and old bandmates, Nathan Marchi, took a little time out of his day here. He's a real busy guy down in the Arizona area. Are you there, Nathan?
I am here.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. When did you start playing drums?
Let's see now. Probably around 8 or 9. I really got more into it at the start of middle school. And did the whole marching band and concert band and things like that. And then just kind of been doing it ever since. And then didn't really start playing drum set until later high school. And then started doing, my first band was basically around 2000. And then been playing drum set ever since then, so. Good 26 years or so, probably, playing drums.
Oh, yeah. Woo! Wow. Nice. It's a good run.
Yep, still going.
Nice. Where'd you grow up, man?
Palm Springs, California. Lived out there for about 29 years. And then moved to Arizona in 2011 and been out here ever since.
Hey, I love both of those places. I've got a history in both towns.
Oh, that's cool.
Used to vacation in Palm Springs, Cathedral City, all those little areas, playing golf over there and with my dad. As a kid, we'd go down for a few weeks out of the year, like Christmas time or spring or something like that. Spring break would be going on. All the college kids. Driving around.
Spring break was popular back in the day. Then they shut it down pretty quick. Basically when I graduated high school. Yeah,
there's crazy people driving down the 111, man. You know, woo, yelling and screaming. Convertibles.
Yeah, Palm Springs would get a little hectic down the strip there, but yeah, they kind of kiboshed a lot of that spring break stuff.
So you're currently in the Arizona area then?
Yeah, I live north of Phoenix, about an hour and a half or so. And I'm back working in the valley again for right now.
It's amazing. I'm sure the weather's great right now. Hey, who's your favorite drummer?
I've got kind of a mix, I guess, but I really, I don't know. It's anyone who ever asked me that, I'm like, I don't know for sure. I've got a lot of influences, like Danny Carey, obviously from Tool, Believe It or Not, Lars, Neil Peart. I mean, they're kind of the typical drummers, but I guess for the modern time, probably Danny Carey's probably on the top of my list, I guess.
Danny Carey from Tool. Love that guy.
Yeah, I did a lot of, I think the majority of the influence in my drumming style was from him, especially earlier on. I've definitely tamed it back over the years in my writing and everything like that. I try not to get as mathematical anymore, but I mean, back in the day, that was a plus for me to do. I had to make it a priority to try and make something crazy and messed up. Yeah, I'd go with him.
What's your favorite Tool song?
Probably anything off of Opiate. I really like the 2 live tracks on there. Those are probably my favorite. Even Part of Me on there is one I used to play a lot with one of my earlier on bands. Do it as a cover.
It's a great song. Like it would be any kind of termite or cockroach or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right one, but
Used to be one assholes that lived in a building
Systematically remove them like we would any termite or cockroach.
Yep. Yeah, that song, that one right there is one of my favorites too.
Oh yeah, that's a good album. I didn't get that album until later. Like I was an Undertow guy for a long time. It was like my main bread with them when I first got into them.
Yeah, I mean the first three albums, I've always had the rule of three. Usually everybody's first three albums are my favorite three albums.
Huh. I like that. That makes sense.
I don't know. It always just played out that way.
Yeah. I mean, who would be your favorite band then?
Man, I really don't have a favorite band. I mean, I'm actually more of an old school 80s metalhead. I listen to a lot of Queen's Riot, Iron Maiden, all the Ozzy solo stuff he did. Rush, especially Rush. I've been on a kick of Rush, and it was funny because even before Neil Peart passed, I started just binging Rush for some reason.
Huh.
So, and then when he passed, I just kind of kept going back to it.
Any particular albums?
Moving Pictures is probably right up there. But I've gotten to listen to a lot of pretty much all their catalog and bits and pieces of everything. But as an album in its entirety, I'd go Moving Pictures.
Yeah, that's a hell of an album.
Definitely.
I like the song Witch Hunt.
That's a good tune also.
Got these weird electronic drums things that he's using on that one, mixed with organic drums.
Mm-hmm.
But the synthesizers are pretty cool. It sounds kind of big. It's like bassy or something. It's pretty cool. Interesting track. It's weird.
Yeah, definitely.
When I first heard it, I was like, man, that's so 80s. But then I kind of grew on me. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
Yeah. Well, they're very 70s, 80s band.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Shit, they might have started in 1967. Well, what do you remember as your first big concert that you attended that you were a fan of?
I think the first concert I ever went to was the Doobie Brothers, but it never was. I never really considered that like my favorite band. It kind of got me into it a little bit. The Black Sabbath reunion tour and Pantera, Megadeth, Soulfly, they all opened up, and that was like my first real like big festival gig, and that was really cool. So I consider that one probably one of the most memorable concerts I've been to. Other than that, Metallica is actually one of my real favorite bands, and I didn't get to see them until 2004 for the St. Anger tour. That was the first time I ever saw them, and they actually played really well.
Nice.
I wish I would have saw them back in the '90s when they did the Black Album tour with that stadium show they did. That would have been pretty cool. But
yeah, I saw that one.
yeah, probably that guy. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you did go to that.
I think that was my first one, dude, where I was like, yeah, I really want to go to that show. Like a middle schooler. Mom ended up taking me with a couple buddies. One guy had a broken leg. He was very dedicated.
You got in the mosh pit?
I wish we did. No, we were too little. We were pretty close, but they started off with Sandman, and I think the next song was Harvester, dude. And then they went into like Justice Medley after that. Something like that.
That's cool.
It was cool, man. No, 04, dude. They probably had the goatees and all that shit. Looked like Fred Durst or something, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember that was the first day of the St. Anger tour.
Nice.
And after he was all rehabbed and everything, but it was a good show. They put on a good show, and Trujillo was playing bass and everything. So Wish I would have saw him at Newstead. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but I wish I would have seen him with Trujillo. I still would like to. I did see him again in '97 with Days of the New and Jerry Cantrell. But yeah, dude, I saw that Black Sabbath reunion thing too in Seattle. It was like Incubus was opening it for them and Pantera.
Yeah, Soulfly opened up, and then Megadeth was on the bill, then Pantera,
Wow.
and then Black Sabbath.
Yep.
So that was, I finally got introduced to Pantera. It was pretty cool.
That's amazing. So is Vinnie Paul an influence as well?
Yes and no. Although I did, don't tell anybody, but I ripped off some drum parts as kind of a tribute in some of my, in a past band. I had a band called Ochelord in the valley, in Coachella Valley, that I helped start. We played for about 4 years, probably about 2005 to 2010, so 4 or 5 years. And so there's a couple songs where I took some pieces of some drum beats and stuff like that and threw them in there kind of as a tribute to Pantera, because they were already done by then. And even I've taken little snippets of well-known drum parts and kind of added them in to some of the music I've recorded, just kind of as a chin up or a nod to some of the bands that I liked over the years.
That's incredible. Ultralord, right? That's the band from the Coachella Valley?
Yeah, that was one of the last metal band I was in before I moved to Arizona.
I remember that. Got your CD. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a fun band.
Like that. So what kind of gear are you playing right now?
I've got a Tama Star Classic drum set that I purchased back in 2001. I've always been a Tama guy, and I probably always will be. I've acquired a Yamaha Rockstar set, or Rode. Damn it, I already forgot what the brand is. It's a Tour edition, bright red drum set that sounds pretty good, that I got all fixed up. So that's been kind of a secondary set. But I also have a double bass Tama that 2 kick drums, and that I expanded on about 4 years after I bought the first half of the drum set. So I've used Tama gear, Tama hardware, Evans drum heads, use Vader drumsticks, and Zildjian cymbals. Except for the ride, I've had a metal Sabian ride for, I don't know, almost 20 years now.
Oh, yeah.
20 years old and still pinging.
That's amazing, man. Well, how long did you play in the band 1967?
Shit, I moved out here. When did I join? 2012 or 2011?
2011. Yes.
I think 2011, like right when I first moved out here.
Yep. That's right.
So, and then what we play, like off and on for probably a total of 3-4 years, maybe.
2-3 years, something like that. Yeah, I think 2013 maybe. Yep.
Yeah, it's like 2011 to 2013, and with a small hiatus in between, just for the birth of my child.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Well, how was your experience playing in the band?
Oh, well, when we first started, it was fun. You had some good tunes already written. It was fun to kind of add my 2 cents on some of the drum parts, while keeping the majority of what you already had down. And then a couple of the songs that I got to put my full drum work on was cool. Other than that, the shows we played, we actually had some pretty good shows.
Yeah, that was
Didn't
fun.
get too much of a tour thing, but it was still fun to play.
What
I
was?
think we made an impression on the Phoenix area for a little while.
Yeah, had some good headway going there. What do you think your favorite show playing in 1967 was?
I don't know. We had quite a bit. A couple of the press kit shows were pretty interesting. I think did we open for Jackal at Marquee once?
Yeah, we did.
That was a clash of different music, so that was kind of funny, kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
How did you start playing in the band 1967?
Let's see, what was it? Was it word of mouth? From, I think it was, did David Ellison pass the information on?
I think he did. Yeah, Dave Ellison from Megadeth, right? Mutual contact.
Yeah. I knew him since 2008, but when I moved out here, I called him up and asked if anything was going on in the music scene or whatever, and he said, he did mention the church playing at Shepherd of the Desert there for a little while, so I got into that, and then I think he gave me your number, or he gave some, vice versa. I forget exactly how that got exchanged. But yeah, it was definitely a pass on the information between him and I. So that was that was interesting.
Yeah, I had reached out to him, see if he had known of anyone. Drummers.
Yeah, and I think I played a couple of church gigs, and then he hit me up about you. I think he gave me your number. I think I called you.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds about right. Where do you remember auditioning for 1967?
Some freaking crack shack down in Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's like an abandoned warehouse where freaking, not a warehouse, but it was like an abandoned building or some shit. I remember like, where the hell is this place at?
I thought it was some house that the guy rented out his space for stuff, for like rehearsal. It's like a house downtown.
Something like that, but yeah, it was like right off the main drag at 7th Street or some crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that was interesting.
So, yeah, it was pretty funny.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember Jordan and I, the bass player at the time, Jordan Courtney. We were like, yeah, this is cool. You know, we were feeling it. We were like talking about it later after you had left, and we were like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm down. I'm all in. I like it. And then he was like, yeah, let's do it. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
I don't know if it was an immediate thing, or I think we called you later, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't recall right off the bat, but I just remember like, all right, we just kind of started jamming some more and started playing some shows.
Totally. We played a lot of shows. Where do you remember rehearsing?
Where did we rehearse? Did we do Band Oasis a lot? We did that a little bit later on when Scotty joined.
Yeah, we did.
Pretty much Band Oasis, pretty much.
Yeah, and then I guess we rehearsed a lot because we played so many damn shows.
Yeah, we were playing every weekend there. That was pretty much rehearsal too sometimes.
I know. How many albums did you perform in the band 1967?
I think just the one that we recorded at the school.
That's right.
But you had a bunch of other songs recorded or that we did that were on previous albums and stuff like that. And then we had a batch of new ones after that. But as one that was recorded and laid down, I think it was just that one that we recorded at the school.
Phoenix Arts Institute, right?
That's right.
That was a cool experience.
No, it was fun.
I really enjoyed that. Jordan, you and I, right? We just went in and knocked out like most of the shit.
Yeah, I think it was did Scotty show up for that?
Nah, he wasn't in the band yet. Or he might have been in the band, but we were in the middle of it or something like that. Or no, he He hadn't shown up yet because he'd heard
Yeah,
that.
I think it was just after that he did.
Because we operated as a 3-piece for many shows before that, right? Like a couple months or something.
I do believe, yeah.
What do you think your favorite 1967 song would be?
I'd go between Dead in Life and Let's Have Some Fun.
Cool. What did you enjoy most about performing live?
Just performing live in a band. It's always been my favorite thing to do.
Hell yeah. Agreed. What was your favorite 1967 lineup?
Probably our 4-piece we had. Jordan, Scotty, you, and I.
Nice.
When Mike was in for a little while, that was fun too.
You like Mike?
Yeah, Mike is a dang good bass player.
Oh, totally. I loved his gear and his sound.
Yeah, he had it. He had everything dialed in pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah. So who are you still playing with that was in 1967?
Just Scotty now. And that's about it.
What was the scariest moment at a 1967 show?
Geez, probably any show in Prescott. You seem to like fucking biker bars.
Oh, whoever will take us.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeez. What was the longest tour you've ever done?
I haven't really done much of tours. I did a week-long stint with my first band, The Film, back in the early 2000s. We did a California tour from the desert all the way up to San Jose and back down. And we did about 4 or 5 shows. But we were on the road, hoteling it and stuff like that, so that was cool. And I've done a couple, when I was living in California, we did a couple 2-3 day shows in a row up here in Arizona, down south, and then back over and stuff like that. So haven't really done much of long touring or anything like that. Just never had the time. I've always had a full-time job, so
Oh yeah.
it kind of got in the way.
I feel that.
No, I was gonna say touring doesn't pay the bills. It actually costs money. So
It's true. What bands are you playing in now these days?
I'm not playing in any band right now. Just kind of, I did have 3 cover bands going at the same time before the shutdown and everything. But all that kind of got kiboshed.
Oh yeah.
And just been kind of dormant right now and just jamming when I can.
Yep. What would you describe your song arrangement process like? How would you describe that?
Whenever I write songs, I've always been kind of collaborating with just a guitar player. And then my thing is I would help arrange the songs and place where we're going to do choruses and verses and pre-choruses and bridges and things like that. And then I would just lay a basic drum line down and then detail it later.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of finalize everything, put everything together right after that.
Nice.
Mainly all my songwriting's been with a guitar player. And I've always collaborated with a guitar player. And there's only been a couple instances where I've written a drum lick and had somebody else write something to it. So.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on how the music industry operates today?
in I guess my honest opinion, it's kind of a cluster F. The people that are already in are in, and a lot of the new music today is just kind of eh. But more power to them if they can do it. It's the people's choice to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Makes sense. What do you hope to accomplish in your musical career?
As of nowadays, I'm just kind of laying low and playing when I can. Family's kind of taken over a little bit more priority, and I'll always play, but I don't think I'll probably ever be in a full-time band again. Probably some part-time things here and there, maybe do a show or two. But as far as a full-time band, it's going to be slim to none. But I like sitting in a lot, and doing studio work and things like that. Right now, anyways.
Oh yeah. Right on. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for music?
Exactly what I'm doing right now, just working. They're keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, where have you performed over the years? Like favorite and least favorite venues and all that kind of stuff.
I've played pretty much all the big ones out here. The Big Fish Pub when it was still open. I played the Marquee, Yucca Tap, Rebel Lounge, Krabby Don's. That was actually kind of a fun gig.
Krabby Don's.
Got a couple other little bars around here. I was fortunate to play the Whiskey and the Roxy and the Key Club and all those joints down in LA back in the day. That was real fun. That's pretty much it. And then we had two places to play in Palm Springs, and that was either the Red Barn or the Village Lounge. And we would probably play there almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And I had about three or four bands at that time. A couple I was sitting in with, and a couple full time at one of those two venues.
Oh wow. Well, how do you feel the internet has impacted the music business?
To help spread the word around. It's easier to stream music now and listen to all that stuff and get your promotion out a little bit better. But I guess it can also get you in trouble too, depending on what you say. So the social network is a pro, but it can be a con at the same time.
Oh yeah. Well, what's the best advice you've been given?
I don't know. I haven't been really given any advice on music. Just because it's always really been a hobby. If I could write it off on taxes, man, I would have wrote off $50,000 worth of spending money over my music career.
Yeah, I hear that.
I got to do a thing called Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp a long time ago, where I actually got to play with some big musicians. It cost a lot of money, but that's how I gained a relationship with Ellison, and I got to jam with a lot of good people. And one producer in particular, his name was Mark. I forget his last name already. He's the one who produced an Ozzy album, did a lot of Ringo Starr stuff, produced and wrote a couple songs for Aerosmith. He told me, and him and Kenny Aronoff, I got to meet him too. One of the things that stuck with me that I never took as advice, the less you play drums, the more money you make. Which kind of makes sense. Because look at AC/DC and a lot of Kenny Aronoff's drum parts actually on some of the earlier things he did were just basic as shit. But it it sold albums and it made money.
Oh yeah.
But also Tool made a lot of money too. Yeah, that was kind of he was trying to give me advice on that, but I never took him up on that.
Mark Hudson, right?
There you go, Mark Hudson, one of the Hudson brothers.
Been going since the mid '60s.
He was hilarious, by the way. That dude is one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Huh.
And he was also a little arrogant himself, but he backed it up. But yeah, he was fun to hang out with, and some of the shit he was talking about was hilarious. I kept in touch with him a little bit too later on, but not as much. Very cool dude.
Let's go.
Very good at what he did and what he's accomplished over the years.
We should hit him up, see if he wants to help out. Probably costs a lot of money. Ha!
I would imagine.
Be a good, very valuable, though, experience.
Yeah, it could, if he answers your call.
Not me. That's cool, man. That's interesting. I remember you telling me about that. Well, hey, if you could change anything about the music industry, what would you change?
Shit, I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, where it was a little more open to outsiders. Just like any kind of industry, there's a lot of inside promotion, I would guess.
Okay.
And kind of a cliquish type thing. So if it was a little more looser than that, and a little more forgiving, which probably back in the 70s, 80s, it was a little bit, it was probably big back then, but it's definitely that huge of a way now about that old saying about who you know.
It really is.
It's really true.
Massively, severely cliquey. It really, really is.
And it's like that in any industry. I mean, anything that's a big deal, even like utilities and things like that, anything that's very massive like that has their own clique, and it's very hard to get into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, uphill battle, building trust. Indeed.
Just getting a hold of anybody.
Yep. What's next for you, man?
Not much. I'm just paving the way for my family. Just trying to not go crazy and stay humble and enjoy family life. Work my ass off like everybody should do. Make that money and go have a good time. Enjoy life.
Hey, that's great. I'm getting better at that. Better than I used to be. Progress.
Well, good. Everybody needs to do that.
It's a challenge for me. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, we'd like to thank Nathan Marchi for doing this quick interview. It was good to reminisce on some old fun times. And I definitely miss playing with you and hanging out with you. And I'm looking forward to obviously playing with you more and more in the future here, too.